and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Wow. Man.
Tank is never shy about speaking his mind, and once again, he's got the boxing world buzzing. This time, it all started at the Ring Magazine Award ceremony held at the historic Old Royal Naval College in London. It was an unforgettable evening, with some of the biggest names in boxing in attendance. Alexander Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lennox Lewis, and more. It felt like every major star was there. Well, almost every star.
Tank cannot fuck with Terence Crawford at all. Y'all keep pushing for that. He will destroy Tank, huh?
One big name was noticeably absent from the guest list: Gervonta "Tank" Davis. When Tank discovered he hadn't been invited, he didn't hold back. Staying true to his fiery personality, he took to Instagram and unleashed his frustration. Tank shared a photo from Matchroom Boxing's post about the event and went off, accusing organizers of favoritism. Why invite everyone they work with, but not everyone else? Get out of here with that nonsense, he ranted. He even took a shot at Eddie Hearn, calling him a little rat and adding, "Look at him acting like he's made some big move. Now let them all fight each other since they've got such a stacked roster."
Fighters now, like, they trash. Yeah, they trash. I think back in the day, fighters was better than the fighters today.
Tank didn't stop at Eddie Hearn. He had plenty to say about Turki Alalshikh, the owner of Ring Magazine and a key figure behind major events in Saudi Arabia. Davis didn't hold back, accusing him of being clueless about the sport. "They act like this guy is good for boxing, but he's not doing anything good," Tank said angrily. "If he's so great, why isn't he building up the people from where he's from? This guy knows nothing about boxing, and this is who they're putting on a pedestal." For Tank, this wasn't just about being left out of an exclusive event, it felt personal. It was a statement about who gets recognized and celebrated in boxing and who doesn't.
All the fans want to see you and Tank in a ring this year. Do you think Turki Alalshikh's the man to make that?
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a tremendous fight. I think he's saving boxing, so once Tank gets with him, and I think the fight's going to happen.
Tank made it clear he saw the event as less about genuine talent and more about favoritism. He didn't stop there. He also took aim at fighters heading to Saudi Arabia for Turki Alalshikh's Riyadh season events. In his rant, Tank mocked them, saying, "They have to go over there to make money and still do. I sell right here, in America." He ridiculed the boxers chasing big paydays overseas, accusing them of prioritizing money over real competition. "They fight in front of tiny crowds just because the checks are big," he wrote. "They go over there, get their ass kicked, and it's in front of, 19 people? But since they're getting rich, it's all good."
I've been hearing some rumblings about Terence Crawford versus Tank Davis. And when I think about this fight, I am getting Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia vibes.
To some, Tank's comments came off as bitter, but he stood his ground, making it clear he wouldn't bow to anyone or chase money like others. His frustration and anger were evident, and it was clear he felt disrespected by being excluded. It didn't take long for Terence Crawford to join the fray. Known for never backing down from throwing jabs, Crawford saw this as the perfect opportunity to stir the pot. Taking to Twitter, he couldn't resist poking fun at Tank, adding fuel to the drama. "I see somebody mad they wasn't invited to the Ring Magazine gala." Crawford's tweet went viral almost immediately, with fans from both sides jumping into the conversation. The laughing emojis in Crawford's post made it obvious he was relishing the moment, only adding fuel to an already heated situation. Fans eagerly awaited Tank's response, and as expected, he didn't hold back. Davis fired back with a sharp retort aimed directly at Crawford. "You're nothing but a puppet," he said. "Y'all are just chasing the money. You're one of the reasons I'm thinking about leaving this behind. Boxing has gotten boring. It's all about money now." His fiery reply kept the drama alive and had fans buzzing even more.
What changed? What made this trash? Garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign I prospect for GTD.
Tank's reply wasn't just directed at Crawford, it was loaded with frustration about the state of boxing as a whole. His words reflected deeper issues he's been grappling with, as the sport he loves seems to be losing its essence, replaced by money and politics. The back and forth between Tank and Crawford didn't come out of the blue. Tension between the two has been simmering for years. While they've never faced off in the ring, their rivalry has always felt personal. Tank, known for his unwavering confidence, once boldly claimed he'd knock out Crawford if they ever fought.
Somebody like Tank say, 147, I knock Bud out.
Well, you just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believed that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with.
Crawford, on the other hand, has remained at the pinnacle of boxing, building a legacy as one of the sport's best. The clash of egos between him and Tank is something fans can't get enough of, as they represent two different sides of the sport. Crawford is often seen as the ultimate professional, focused on greatness and accepting any challenge. Tank, meanwhile, brings the swagger and fire that fans love, always ready to speak his mind, no matter who it offends. This latest feud has only added more fuel to their already intense rivalry, and fans are buzzing about the possibility of these two finally facing off in the ring, despite fighting in different weight classes. The idea of Tank and Crawford fighting might seem impossible, but in boxing, anything can happen, especially when there's bad blood involved. For now, it seems this war of words is far from over. Both fighters are standing firm, and neither is ready to back down. Fans are on the edge of their seats, wondering what's next. More insults, a confrontation, or maybe even an actual fight one day. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain. The tension between Tank and Crawford is only growing, and the world is watching closely.
How far away are we from getting Bud Crawford and Tank Davis? And would weight be an issue there, or would that just be a matter of you waiting for him to be ready for you?
Yeah, no, Tank is at a lower weight class than me. He's at 135, I'm at 147. That's 2 weight classes apart.
So he would have to come up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't never.
You can't get that low.
So that's not gonna happen. Because I saw people talking about it. You don't think that'll ever?
Not everyone sees Tank as off course. In fact, some boxing legends are praising him for not giving in to the pressure from the Saudis. Tim Bradley, known for always speaking his mind, has been one of Tank's critics over the years, questioning his style, his commitment to the sport, and even his resume. Bradley hasn't held back when it comes to Davis. However, it seems there's been a shift. Recently, Bradley has been trying to repair his relationship with Tank, even publicly praising him for standing his ground against the overwhelming influence of Saudi Arabia and the money tied to it.
I'd ask your thoughts on Tank saying he'd knock out Terence in 6 rounds. You think he was playing, trolling, what? Selling tickets to his new fight?
Was that like his tweets? Like he's
he said it on video. Huh? He said audio. He said it. He's like, if I tap that chick.
Bradley's recent comments came in response to Tank's outburst about Turki Alalshikh and the boxers heading to Riyadh for the big paydays. It seemed like Bradley respected Tank's courage in speaking out about something others were avoiding. "That's why I respect Tank," Bradley said. "Hey Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You're a real one. Lately, you've been showing me you're a real one, and I like that." Bradley's praise felt genuine as he credited Tank for not falling into the trap that many other boxers had, chasing huge paydays in Saudi Arabia at the expense of their integrity. Bradley continued by praising Tank for being one of the few fighters not willing to bow down and grovel for money. The former champion admired Davis for standing firm in his beliefs, refusing to compromise his principles for a large payday in Riyadh. Bradley didn't hold back in expressing his respect. "I like what you're doing, man," he said. "You're saying, I don't need Shakur, because you don't want to go over there." Bradley made it clear he respected Tank's decision to speak up and stay true to himself.
One thing I can say about Tank is he's smart. He can box.
Yes.
And he's explosive. You know what I mean? But I'm saying skill-wise and in the mind, I don't think neither one of them.
However, Bradley made it clear that his respect for Tank was conditional. If Tank were to suddenly take a deal in Saudi Arabia after all of his criticisms, Bradley said he'd have a problem with it. Now if you go over there, take back everything you said, and kiss the ring too, Bradley warned. You know Shakur is over there, and that's why I respect you. You're saying, I don't need Shakur, because you don't want to go over there. But if Tank were to go back on his word, Bradley made it clear he would be disappointed. If you go back on your word, you're going to lose a big fan, dog, he added. I'm going to come at you for real. Bradley's comments highlight a shift in his perception of Tank. For a long time, he was highly critical of Davis, calling him out for his actions both inside and outside the ring.
Stop closing up and let it go. Keep turning, step around.
Now, seeing Tank stand up against what he views as the corrupting influence of money in boxing, Bradley seems to be softening his stance. He's acknowledging that Tank has a certain level of integrity, at least when it comes to refusing to fall in line with the money machine that is Saudi Arabia. It's also clear that Bradley respects Tank's willingness to speak out, even when his stance isn't the most popular. With big names like Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney reportedly making deals with Turki Alalshikh for massive paydays in Saudi Arabia, Tank's refusal to take that path stands out to Bradley. In his eyes, Tank is a real one, someone who's sticking to his principles and staying true to his roots.
What are your thoughts on Gervonta Davis saying that he's gonna walk away from boxing after 2025?
Look, I don't blame him. I'll tell you that much. I don't blame him, man. This sport ain't no joke.
If the fight not there, you gotta walk.
At the same time, Bradley doesn't hesitate to call out the other fighters who've accepted big offers from Saudi Arabia. He's been critical of Canelo, Ryan Garcia, and others, accusing them of compromising their integrity for money. By contrast, Tank's refusal to take that route makes him stand out, especially in Bradley's eyes. However, Bradley's respect isn't unconditional. If Tank were to accept a deal with Al-Sheikh or anyone else in Saudi Arabia, Bradley wouldn't hesitate to call him out for it. Bradley's change of heart seems genuine, but it's also a noteworthy shift in the boxing world. Tank Davis is evolving from a controversial figure into someone earning respect from those who once criticized him. His refusal to be part of the Saudi money machine has won him some unexpected allies, and Tim Bradley is just the latest to publicly show his admiration. Tank's refusal to take the Saudi money has added a layer of intrigue to his rivalry with Terence Crawford, which is heating up once again. Fans have long been curious about how a fight between the two would play out. Both men are giants in their respective weight classes, and while they've fought in different divisions, it's clear their paths are on a collision course. Crawford, now the WBA super welterweight champion after his win over Israel Madoff, has cemented his legacy as a four-weight world champion. He's made his mark at lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight, with his crowning achievement being his dominant stoppage victory over Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds.
At a catch weight of 137 pounds. So what are we talking about here? Gervonta Tank Davis, which would be the A side in this situation, would never move up to 147 pounds and fight Terence Bud Crawford, the legendary.
Meanwhile, Gervonta Tank Davis continues to dominate the lightweight division. His most recent victory over Frank Martin last June added to his growing reputation. Tank's explosive power has made him one of the most dangerous men in boxing, with impressive knockout wins over Ryan Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz, and Rolly Romero. His ferocious punch has earned him a reputation as one of the hardest-hitting fighters in the sport, and his flawless record of 30 wins with 28 knockouts speaks volumes. For years, fans have speculated about what a potential showdown between Tank and Crawford would look like, and both fighters have publicly expressed interest in facing off.
Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be.
Tank has even expressed that he'd be willing to step up in weight to take on Crawford, adding to the growing excitement around the potential fight. But Crawford, known for his bold statements, recently added more fuel to the fire. When asked about the prospect of facing Tank, Crawford's simple response was, "There's levels." With those 2 words, Crawford made it clear that while he respects Tank's confidence, he believes there's a significant gap between their skill sets. Crawford has dominated in multiple weight classes and faced some of the best the sport has to offer, including the likes of Errol Spence. His technique, versatility, and experience in the ring make him one of the most complete fighters in boxing today.
There's definitely levels, you know, and if he come up to 147 and he's thinking he's just gonna knock Terence Crawford out, got another thing coming.
So that's the fight you would make happen? If he wanted to come up to 147?
Yeah, I'll stay at 147 for him. That's a big money.
That's a big fight, yeah.
Crawford wasn't done with just those 2 words. He went on to explain that while he respects Tank's self-belief, the outcome of a fight between them would likely be very different than Tank expects. He's just talking, Crawford said, referring to Tank's bold predictions. He's got the confidence in himself because he's been knocking all these fighters out. No knock to Tank, but if he thinks he's going to knock me out, he's got another thing coming. Crawford's words spoke volumes. He's not just confident, he's downright certain. Crawford believes the hype around Tank's knockout power is overblown and that he's prepared to handle whatever Tank brings to the table.
Don't sleep on the fact that if him and Tank fought at about 140.
As of now, Crawford is competing at 154 pounds, and the prospect of a fight with Davis seems increasingly unlikely with Crawford focused on bigger challenges in the super welterweight division, including a potential showdown with another world champion in 2025. The odds of them meeting in the ring in the near future appear slim. However, that hasn't stopped fans from dreaming about what could be an epic clash between 2 of the sport's biggest stars. It's clear that both fighters are heading in different directions, but their paths are still closely linked. Tank's rise in the lightweight division and Crawford's dominance at welterweight and now super welterweight could eventually lead to a collision course, making it one of the biggest fights in boxing if the stars align. Both men have talked about the possibility of facing each other, and while Crawford has made it clear that he doesn't see Tank as a legitimate threat to him, there's always the chance that a fight could happen if Tank continues to rise and Crawford runs out of challenges at his current weight.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
Nah, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining the catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Despite the 3-division gap between the two, Jones believes the fight would be far from a mismatch if they were to meet around 145 pounds. In an interview with Real Life Productions, the multi-division world champion called it a good damn fight, praising both men's boxing intelligence and unique strengths. Jones emphasized Crawford's incredible versatility and experience across multiple weight classes, noting that he remains one of the toughest challenges in boxing. Crawford has cleared out divisions and dominated elite fighters, including his memorable stoppage of Errol Spence Jr. His move up to super welterweight has only further solidified his place as one of the sport's pound-for-pound best.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? Damn.
147?
147.
I tapped that trend. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he is.
Ain't got no chance.
I already know he is.
You said no chance.
I got round 5.
Shit, I got round 6.
However, Jones pointed out an element that could make Davis a legitimate threat: his explosiveness. That's the one thing Tank's got that Errol didn't have, Jones said, highlighting how explosive power can be a game changer, even against a technical fighter like Crawford. Drawing from his own experience, Jones explained that in boxing, an explosive fighter can go a long way. I was only able to cover the weights that I did because I was so explosive, he said. Explosiveness keeps people in check. Jones's comments acknowledged that, despite competing at lightweight, Davis possesses a dangerous combination of knockout power and ring IQ that could make him competitive against bigger fighters. Davis's impressive record of 28 knockouts in 30 wins speaks to his ability to end fights in an instant, and Jones sees this as the equalizer that could make a potential matchup with Crawford intriguing. While Crawford is focused on a potential blockbuster fight against super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, a move that would require him to jump 14 pounds, Davis has his own path, with a fight against Lamont Roach Jr. on the horizon and plans to retire at the end of the year. Davis's career trajectory remains uncertain, but Jones's endorsement of a hypothetical showdown only adds more fuel to the ongoing debate about what could happen if these two forces in boxing ever shared the ring. For now, both fighters will continue their separate campaigns, but the idea of Crawford versus Davis remains a tantalizing what-if for fans. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.